No more rushing to work. No more dealing with people you don't even like. No more running yourself ragged trying to keep up. Instead, you wake up and the day is yours. And guess what? Science actually backs this up. Research shows people get happier as they age. Less stress, more freedom, and a whole new way of living. They say youth is wasted on the young, but here's the truth. Life after 65? It's not the beginning of the end. It's the start of something better. Truth number 1. The happiness curve. Let me tell you something nobody warned me about. When I was in my 40s, I was convinced life was just a long, slow trudge toward exhaustion. Work, bills, responsibilities. It all felt like a never-ending to-do list. But something happened as I got older. The weight started lifting. The little things didn't stress me out as much. And for the first time in a long time, I felt happy. Turns out I wasn't imagining it. Scientists have actually studied this, and the results are surprising. A massive global study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that happiness follows a U-shaped curve. It dips in midlife, usually bottoming out in your late 40s or early 50s. But then, it starts climbing, and it keeps going up well into your 70s and beyond. That's right. Research shows that people in their later years are actually happier than they were in their so-called prime. But enough about studies. Let's talk about my friend Paul. When he turned 65, he swore life was pretty much over. He'd worked hard, raised a family, and figured the fun part was behind him. But then, something changed. He stopped worrying about what other people thought. He started painting again, something he hadn't done since he was 20. He started traveling. He even learned to cook. And guess what? Now, at 72, he says he's the happiest he's ever been. Turns out, I wasn't imagining it. Scientists have actually studied this, and the results are surprising. A massive global study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that happiness follows a U-shaped curve. It dips in midlife, usually bottoming out in your late 40s or early 50s. But then, it starts climbing, and it keeps going up well into your 70s and beyond. That's right. Research shows that people in their later years are actually happier than they were in their so-called prime. But enough about studies. Let's talk about my friend Paul. When he turned 65, he swore life was pretty much over. He'd worked hard, raised a family, and figured the fun part was behind him. But then, something changed. He stopped worrying about what other people thought. He started painting again, something he hadn't done since he was 20. He started traveling. He even learned to cook. And guess what? Now, at 72, he says he's the happiest he's ever been. So, if you've been feeling like your best years are behind you, think again. Science, experience, and real people like Paul all point to the same truth. Life after 65 isn't about slowing down. It's about finally living on your terms. And if you're wondering what else makes these years the best, just wait until you hear this next one. Truth number 2. Freedom, like never before. For most of life, time never really felt like yours. It was controlled by alarm clocks, meetings, deadlines, and endless responsibilities. But after 65, something shifts. The clock stops being your boss. You wake up and the day is wide open. No more rushing out the door. No more squeezing in personal time between obligations. You can finally do what you want, when you want. Maybe that means taking a slow morning with a cup of coffee and a book. Maybe it means signing up for that painting class you always meant to try. Or maybe it's as simple as taking a walk when the sun feels just right instead of when your schedule allows. Studies show that having control over your own time is one of the biggest contributors to happiness. Researchers from Harvard found that people who prioritize time over money report significantly greater life satisfaction. And after 65, time is finally on your side. Think about all the things you used to put off because you were too busy. Now there's no boss to answer to. No rigid schedule keeping you locked in. Just wide open possibilities. And if that sounds good, wait until you hear what happens when you finally start using that freedom to focus on what truly matters. Truth number 3. Stronger, deeper relationships. Something happens after 65 that nobody really talks about. The noise starts to fade. The stress, the obligations, the need to impress, gone. And what's left? The people who truly matter. Studies from Harvard's Grant Study, one of the longest-running research projects on happiness, found that deep, meaningful relationships are the single biggest factor in a fulfilling life. Not money, not success, not even health. Just strong connections with the people around us. And guess what? After 65, you finally have the time to nurture them. Friendships become richer. Conversations go deeper. You start reconnecting with people you lost touch with and strengthening bonds with those who stuck around. Instead of quick catch-ups squeezed between meetings, you can actually sit down, share a meal, and enjoy real moments together. And it's not just about reminiscing. It's about making new memories, meeting new people, and embracing the relationships that bring you joy. Because at the end of the day, life isn't about what you own. It's about who you share it with. And if you think that's powerful, wait until you hear what happens when you start investing in yourself. Truth number 4, the power of putting yourself first. For most of life, your time and energy went to everyone else. Family, work, responsibilities. You were always on call, always putting yourself second. But after 65, something shifts. For the first time in decades, you get to be the priority. This isn't selfish, it's long overdue. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that engaging in activities you personally enjoy, whether it's learning something new, traveling, or simply slowing down, has direct benefits on mental and physical health. Stress levels drop, cognitive function improves, overall happiness climbs. Think about it. When was the last time you did something purely because you wanted to? No deadlines, no obligations, just joy. Maybe it's picking up an old hobby, exploring a new place, or finally taking that dance class you always talked about. This is your time to invest in you. And the best part? The more you focus on what truly makes you happy, the more energy and positivity you bring to the people around you. So what's stopping you? Because if you thought life was about giving before, wait until you see how much you gain when you finally start living for yourself. Truth number 5. The best health of your life is still possible. Let's be honest. For years, you've been told that aging means slowing down, creaky joints, and an ever-growing list of doctor's appointments. But here's something the medical world knows, and not enough people talk about. Your health after 65 isn't just about avoiding decline. It's about unlocking a level of strength, energy, and well-being you might not have experienced in years. Studies from Blue Zones, the regions of the world where people consistently live past 100, show that aging well isn't about luck. It's about habits. Movement, purpose, social connections, and good nutrition aren't just buzzwords. They're the difference between merely existing and truly thriving. And no, this doesn't mean running marathons or eating nothing but kale. It means finding your version of movement, whether it's walking with a friend, swimming, or dancing in your kitchen. It means nourishing your body with real food, staying curious, and keeping your mind engaged. It means making small, sustainable choices that keep you feeling alive. Take it from Dr. Peter Attia, one of the world's leading experts on longevity. He says that what we do in our 60s and 70s determines how we'll feel in our 80s and 90s. Strength training, mobility, and even simple daily movement can prevent falls, boost energy, and improve brain function. In other words, taking care of your body now is like making a deposit into your future self's quality of life. So if you've been told that slowing down is inevitable, here's your reminder. It's not. Your best health isn't just behind you. It could be waiting for you to claim it. Because when you move, nourish, and care for yourself with intention, you don't just add years to your life. You add life to your years. And if you thought feeling good was important, wait until you hear how financial freedom can make these years even sweeter. Truth number 6. Financial freedom changes everything. Money can't buy happiness, but let's be real, it sure does make life easier. And after 65, something surprising happens. If you've planned even a little, you're likely in a better financial position than ever before. No more student loans, no mortgage payments looming over your head, no kids draining your wallet faster than you can say. Just one more thing. For the first time, your money is yours. According to a report by the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College, retirees spend less on material things and more on experiences. Travel, hobbies, dining out, things that actually bring joy instead of just filling up space. And here's the kicker. Many seniors report feeling wealthier in retirement not because they're earning more, but because they're spending smarter. Less waste, fewer obligations, and a better understanding of what truly matters. And let's talk perks. Senior discounts, Social Security, Medicare, these aren't just small bonuses. They're game changers. Suddenly, everything from groceries to travel costs a little less, and that adds up fast. ARP found that seniors who take advantage of available discounts save thousands of dollars a year. That's money that can go toward things that actually make life better. But financial freedom isn't just about having money. It's about knowing that, for the first time in your life, you control how you use it. Want to take that dream trip? Do it. Want to finally start that small business or passion project? Now's your chance. Money is no longer a source of stress. It's a tool to design the life you want. And if you think that sounds good, just wait until you realize how much joy comes from giving back and leaving a legacy. Truth number 7. Giving back feels better than ever. Something shifts after 65. You start seeing life through a different lens. It is no longer just about what you have achieved, but about the impact you leave behind. And here is the secret that nobody tells you. Giving back, sharing your wisdom, and helping others feels better now than it ever did before. Science backs this up. A study from the National Institute on Aging found that volunteering and acts of generosity are directly linked to lower stress, better mental health, and even a longer lifespan. People who give their time and energy to causes they care about experience a sense of purpose that keeps them engaged and fulfilled. And here is the best part. You do not have to donate millions to make a difference. Sometimes the greatest impact comes from simply sharing what you know. Whether it is mentoring young professionals, helping out in your local community, or just being there for a friend who needs advice, your experience is a gift. You have lived, learned, and now you have the chance to pass that knowledge on. Think about it. Who helped you along the way? Who gave you advice, guidance, or just a little encouragement when you needed it? Now, you get to be that person for someone else. Whether it is through a local charity, a community group, or even just within your own family, the legacy you leave is not about money or achievements. It is about the lives you have touched. And if you think giving back is powerful, wait until you realize that the best part of aging is not just what you give. It is the peace of mind you finally get to enjoy. Truth number 8, peace of mind is finally yours. For most of life, stress was just part of the deal. Worrying about work, bills, raising kids, making the right choices, it was a non-stop cycle of what's next. But after 65, something shifts, the pressure eases. The expectations lift. And for the first time in decades, you can just breathe. Studies from the University of California, Berkeley show that as people age, they become better at managing emotions and experience fewer negative feelings overall. In other words, the things that used to keep you up at night, they just don't hit as hard anymore. You've been through enough to know what's worth worrying about and what isn't. Think about it. The career stress? Gone. The need to prove yourself? Faded. The endless obligations? Cut down to what you actually care about. Instead of racing to keep up, you finally get to set the pace. Maybe that means waking up without an alarm clock. Maybe it's spending your time on things that bring you joy instead of just checking boxes. Or maybe it's simply knowing that you don't have to rush through life anymore, you get to savor it. And here's the real magic. This peace of mind doesn't just make life more enjoyable. It's also good for your health. Researchers from Harvard Medical School found that lower stress levels lead to better heart health, improved sleep, and even a stronger immune system. Turns out, letting go of constant worry doesn't just make you happier, it makes you healthier too. So if you've ever wondered what the real payoff of aging is, here it is. It's freedom from the stress that weighed you down for so long. It's the ability to focus on what truly matters. It's the gift of finally feeling at peace with where you are in life. And if you thought that was good, just wait until you realize that aging doesn't just bring peace, it brings a whole new sense of adventure. Truth number 9, a new sense of adventure awaits. Whoever said life slows down after 65 clearly wasn't doing it right. Because if anything, this is when the real adventure begins. And no, I'm not talking about skydiving, unless that's on your bucket list. I'm talking about the kind of adventure that comes from finally being able to say yes to the things you never had time for. Traveling without worrying about vacation days, trying new foods just because you can, picking up hobbies you never got around to, exploring new places whether that's across the world or just in your own backyard. The Journal of Aging and Health found that people who continue to seek out new experiences as they age report higher levels of happiness and cognitive function. That means saying yes to adventure isn't just fun, it's actually keeping your brain young. And here's the best part. Adventure doesn't have to mean packing a suitcase and hopping on a plane. It can be as simple as learning a new skill, meeting new people, or stepping outside your routine just to see what happens. Ever wanted to try gardening? Go for it. Always been curious about photography? Pick up a camera. Thought about joining a dance class? There's never been a better time. The beauty of life after 65 is that you're no longer tied down by the expectations of others. You get to reinvent what adventure means for you. And the more you embrace it, the more alive you'll feel. So if you thought this chapter of life was about slowing down, think again. The world is still full of new experiences, waiting for you to dive in. And if you're wondering what happens when you embrace this mindset, just wait until you see the impact it has on your happiness and longevity. Truth number 10. The best is yet to come. There's a myth that life peaks somewhere in your 30s or 40s, and after that, it's just a slow decline. But let's be honest, who actually decided that? Because the truth is, life doesn't have a peak at its chapters. And the one you're in right now? It might just be the most rewarding of them all. Think about it. You've spent decades working, building, learning, and growing. Now you finally get to enjoy the results. You have more freedom, more wisdom, and more control over how you spend your time than ever before. And according to a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research, most people experience their highest levels of life satisfaction in their later years, not in their youth. This stage of life isn't about looking back. It's about looking forward. It's about discovering new passions, forming deeper connections, and living life on your terms. You get to decide what comes next. Whether it's traveling, learning, creating, or simply enjoying the little moments, the best part is knowing that you are in charge of your own happiness. So if anyone ever tries to tell you that life after 65 is about slowing down, smile and let them believe what they want, because you know the truth. The best isn't behind you. It's right in front of you, waiting to be lived. And if you've made it this far, I'd say you're just getting started.